Today, I'm going to be going over bidding strategies. So what I'm going to start with is going over here to tools, going to budgets and biddings, and coming over here to the bid strategies page where we can actually create portfolio bid strategies. Portfolio bid strategies let us automatically set bids for multiple campaigns. So if you want to use the same bid strategy, if you have the same goal for multiple campaigns, search, performance max, video, display, where you're trying to drive leads at a certain cost, then what you want to do is you want to use a portfolio bid strategy. And I wanted to get started here because when we click on the plus sign here for portfolio bid strategies, the four main bid strategies that I generally use and recommend using are target CPA, target return on ad spend, maximize conversions, and maximize conversion value. There's different reasons to use these bid strategies, but what I want to go over really quick is first and foremost these smart bidding strategies. So there are 5 main smart bidding strategies, and the 4 at the top are the ones that I generally use the most, depending on the client that I'm working with. Target CPA is target cost per action that automatically sets your bids to get as many conversions as possible at your target cost per action. If I'm selling a $100 course and I know that every time I sell that course, it drives me $100 in revenue, I want to drive sales to that course for $50 or less. I set a target cost per action in my Google Ads account for my bidding strategy saying, I want you to set my bids automatically to drive sales of my course at $50 or less. So that is where you would want to use target cost per action, is basically understanding how much a key action on your website is worth to your business and setting that target CPA at a lower level than that so that you're actually profitable. Target return on ad spend is definitely more geared towards companies that sell a lot of different products at various price points, where you're going to automatically set your bids to maximize the conversion value at your target return on ad spend. If I know my break-even point is a 300% return on ad spend, then that would be the absolute minimum I would want to use for my overall campaign. And obviously, I would want to get it much higher than that minimum so that I'm actually profitable with my ads. Now, the difference between target CPA, target return on ad spend, is basically advertisers saying, here is my cost control, where you can put more cost controls on it. Definitely more meant for advertisers that have lower budgets or don't have just some type of, here is my unlimited budget as long as I'm profitable. Where if you say, I have $3,000 to spend this month, then use target CPA, use target return on ad spend, and try to get the most out of that budget as you possibly can. Now, maximize conversions, maximize conversion value, definitely better for larger budget advertisers who are willing to say, I have no problem testing for a month, for 2 months, getting as much data for my campaign as possible, and then using that data to really give me the best possible results from my Google Ads campaigns. So maximize conversions is automatically going to set your bids. So if you're targeting 1,000 keywords, Google Ads is automatically going to set your bids for every single one of those keywords to maximize conversions within your budget. Now, Google doesn't know what's going to actually drive conversions when you launch your campaign, so there is going to be a testing period where Google is going to say, we are going to enter as many auctions as possible based on your budget, and we are going to try to drive as many conversions as possible within your budget. Over time, these bidding strategies will help improve your overall campaign performance. Same with maximize conversion value, so this is going to be more geared towards companies that are driving actual revenue. Maximize conversion is going to be more geared towards companies that are driving leads. So if you say, I want to get as many people to sign up for a free trial for this new tool I created, maximize conversions is what you want to use. If you want to add more cost controls to it, use target CPA. Maximize conversion value, target return on ad spend, definitely more geared towards e-commerce websites or websites that are selling different products. So I wanted to start by going over those 4 smart bidding strategies first. Enhanced CPC gives you the control of creating your own manual CPC bids, and then you basically tell Google Ads they are going to either increase or decrease your bids based on the likelihood of a conversion with all of the data that they have. So that gives you a little bit more control, but enhanced CPC is not something I use very often because you can also set maximum and minimum bids for target CPA and the target return on ad spend bidding strategy. So these are the 5 main bidding strategies you want to use. You want to get started by first and foremost coming over here to goals and setting up conversion tracking. Whatever your key performance indicators are, it could be phone calls, it could be sales, it could be somebody starting a free trial, somebody booking an appointment. All of those are key performance indicators, and you want to set them up as conversions within your account. I have videos on my channel about conversion tracking, so I will link those in the video description, but it's going to vary based on the type of website you have and what your actual goals are for what you want the steps you want your customers to take, sales, leads, phone calls, etc., etc. First and foremost, start with conversion tracking and then use one of these smart bidding strategies preferably one of these top 4 based on whatever your budget is and based on what type of cost controls you want to give to Google Ads. Now, if you want to focus on clicks, so you're just focused specifically on traffic to your website, this is the old way to do Google Ads, the very old way to do Google Ads, really the Google AdWords way to do Google Ads. So maximize clicks is automatically going to set bids to get as many clicks as possible within your budget. Manual CPC, you manually set your max CPC bids either at the keyword level or the ad group level to say, I don't want to spend more than this for clicks to my website. So for both of these, the goal is just website traffic. There aren't many reasons why you just want to focus on website traffic when you can also, or when you do have the option to focus on driving conversion. So I would highly recommend not really bidding for clicks. If you do have a scenario where you say, I want to maximize clicks for these specific keywords, regardless of performance, then you could always use one of these bidding strategies, but not something that I use very often. But basically both of these, just trying to get as many clicks, as much traffic as possible at the lowest possible cost. Now, the other bidding options are bidding for impressions, impression share, or views. So target impression share. So this is popular for branded campaigns where you say, for anybody who is searching my brand name, I want to make sure that I have an impression share for my brand name at 80% or greater. So if you're in a very competitive industry and you have other competitors bidding on your brand name, or if you have a brand name like mine, like Surfside PPC, and there are people bidding on the keyword PPC, then what you need to do is make sure that, okay, when somebody does search Surfside PPC, I want to have a target impression share of 80% or greater, or of 100%. But what you need to realize is that means anytime somebody's searching something like Surfside PPC, Google Ads is automatically going to put your website into the auction regardless of cost. So that is one thing to consider with a target impression share bidding strategy. There are reasons to use impression share bidding strategy, especially for some of your top keywords or brand keywords that you want to make sure you're appearing at the top of search results so your competitors aren't actually stealing business from you. Now, target CPM, you can set an average CPM bid for your impressions. Viewable CPM, you set an average CPM bid for viewable impressions. So different reasons to use both. Viewable CPM basically gives you more guarantee that somebody's actually seeing your ad, whereas target CPM is basically give me as many impressions and as much reach as you possibly can within my budget. CPV is for video campaigns. You set a max bid for your video view where you say, I want to drive video views and I want to drive them at 5 cents or less. So you set a 5 cents cost per view. It's going to exclude you from auctions because there may be certain auctions where you need to bid higher than that to actually enter them, but it's going to make sure that you're actually getting the views you want at a lower cost. Now, I don't use most of these very often. For the most part, I use smart bidding strategies up here. So let's come back over and let's go over how to create bid strategies. If we come to portfolio bid strategies first and foremost, what we can do is create, let's just say we want to create a target return on ad spend bid strategy. So we're running multiple campaigns and we say we need a target return on ad spend of 350%. So that is the starting target return on ad spend that we want for these campaigns that we're running. So when you come here to select campaigns, you can select multiple campaigns for this bid strategy. So I'm just going to select this one for now as an example. Click on done. Our target return on ad spend, 350%. So I named it 350 up here. We have to set our target return on ad spend. Coming down here, what you can do is create a shared budget to use with your portfolio bid strategy. So if you're running 4 different campaigns and you say, I want to spend $250 a day across these 4 campaigns, and I want to drive a target return on ad spend of 350% across these 4 campaigns, that is an option that you have within Google Ads and something you should definitely test. So you can use a shared budget with your portfolio bid strategy, or just say, I'm just going to set my budget at the campaign level because I want to spend this much on search, this much on performance max, this much on video, etc., etc. Now, under advanced options is something I want to show you. For target return on ad spend and target CPA, you can set minimum bid limits and maximum bid limits. So this is something I will do with advertisers who don't have a huge budget, who want to really control costs and get their cost per clicks as low as possible. The downside of setting a maximum bid limit is, let's just say that the average bid for a keyword that you are targeting is $3, okay? So that is across all of your competitors, the average bid is $3. If I say the maximum I want to bid for that is $1.50, there's going to be a lot of auctions that you just don't enter because your bids just simply are not high enough to enter that auction. You could have the strongest ads in the world, you could have the perfect landing pages, you could have a great click-through rate. Your maximum bid limit will still have to be at a certain point to enter specific auctions. So that is the downside of maximum bid limits, but One of the reasons to use a target return on ad spend and a maximum bid limit is to basically control your costs a little bit in terms of what you want Google Ads to test. Now, if you say, and we're going to cancel over here, click on the plus signs, and I just want to drive as many conversions as possible. So I come in here to maximize conversions. I don't set a target CPA. We don't set a shared budget. I set my campaigns. You're basically telling Google Ads, use all of my targeting and do as much testing as you need to drive as many conversions as possible within my budget. So what you need to realize with this is there is going to be a testing period. Don't set up maximize conversions for 3 days and turn it off and expect to get the most out of your campaign. And realize when you first turn this on, Google Ads is going to need to test. The reason why I recommend maximize conversions for larger budget advertisers is because your first month, your first 2 months may not be overly profitable because Google Ads is going to be testing a lot of your targeting and trying to drive conversions for your business. If you're not driving conversions, then this bid strategy just won't work very well. So what you could always do is switch to either a target CPA, target return on ad spend, and give yourselves a little bit more control. Now, target impression share, just to go over it since it's down here. If we want to set this, let's just say for a branded campaign, I say, where do you want your ads to appear? So there's 3 different options here. The anywhere on results page just means your ads could appear at the very top, anywhere in the very top of the ads portion, or at the bottom of the page. Basically, anywhere on that main page you want your ad to show. The top of results page, let's just say there's 3 different advertisements at the top of the results page. That would be where you're bidding for. The absolute top would be in that first position. So what I could say is if somebody's searching for Surfside PPC, I want to have at least a 70% impression share at the absolute top of the results page. And now what you need to do is make sure you set your CPC bid limit high enough to actually achieve this impression share. I can't come over here and set this at 5 cents and expect Google Ads to actually put me in 70% of at the top of the results page. So your maximum CPC bid limit, and generally what you want to do here is, let's just say I set a bid limit of $5. That means I'm willing to bid up to $5 anytime I am in that absolute top of the results page, and I want to be there at least 70% of the time. Now, if you're not getting there 70% of the time, that means you need to increase your bid. If you're getting there 100% of the time, you can either decrease your bid or just leave it as is. You may want to decrease your bid just to kind of control your costs a little bit as well. So that is target impression share. And then the other portfolio bid strategy here is maximize clicks. If you set that, very simple, you can set a maximum cost per click bid limit, and you can also use shared budgets. So you could say, I don't want to bid more than 50 cents or whatever it may be if you're really trying to control costs. Now, these are all pretty straightforward. Target CPA, basically you're saying, this is how much I want to spend per conversion with my Google Ads account. So you set a target CPA, Google Ads tries to drive you as many conversions as possible within that target CPA. Target return on ad spend, same thing, except you're setting a percentage return on ad spend. And then maximize conversion value is basically just drive me as much revenue as possible within my budget. So these are some of the main strategies you're going to use: target CPA, target return on ad spend, maximize conversions, and maximize conversion value. If we come over here and we go to create a new campaign, for example, and we just say, so if you're in the sales or leads objective, which you should be, that is where you would want to use one of those smart bidding strategies that we talked about. So one of these top 4 is what you want to use. Now, if we're not using these, then what we could do is, let's just say we want to create a campaign without a goals guidance. We're going to use display for our example for right now. So we have to use these conversion goals. We'll click on continue and click on continue. So we'll start a new campaign, and we're going to come over here to budget and bidding. Now, what you can see here is, what do you want to focus on? So if you say, I want to focus on conversions, it's going to say automatically maximize conversions. That means the maximize conversions bid strategy. Set a target cost per action. That means the target CPA bid strategy. So that's basically how you can set your bidding strategy throughout the campaign process. If you say, I want to focus on conversion value, again, maximize conversion value or target return on ad spend. Now, if we don't want to choose those, and what we could do is say, let's just do viewable impressions. You know what? We're going to select a bid strategy directly. It says not recommended, but I want to see all the different bid strategies. Viewable CPM. We could basically set a viewable CPM bid for our ad group and say, I want my viewable CPM to be basically how much you're willing to pay for every 1,000 impressions of your advertisement. I want this to be as low as possible. I want to be $2.50 for every 1,000 impressions. So when you do that, you're basically only going to be getting impressions on your ad for placements where the average bid is lower than $2.50. So hopefully that makes sense. But basically, if you set this low, what generally can happen is you end up on different websites, different videos, different apps that maybe aren't overly targeted, aren't overly competitive because they don't drive as many conversions. So viewable CPM is useful if you're really just focused on, I want to focus on branding, I want to focus on product awareness, I want to get this message out to people, and I just want to focus on impressions. I don't really recommend this for most advertisers. It's not generally a best practice to use. What you can do is manual CPC, and here's where you can see help increase conversions with enhanced CPC. So that is where you use enhanced CPC. If not, then you're going to see setting bids manually may result in lower performance. It generally will result in lower performance. So you can try manual CPC and set your bids at the keyword or the ad group level and say, I don't want to bid more than this. But generally what's easier to do is just use the maximize clicks and set a maximum cost per click bid limit if that's the route you want to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they got rid of manual CPC altogether, but I think enough people still use it that they'd kind of have some backlash if they did. So these are some of the different options when we're looking at display campaigns that we can use. Let's exit out of this and let's come back over to another campaign type. So we're going to click on new campaign. And for this one, let's say without a goals guidance, go to video. If you say, I want to focus on video views, you click on continue. And you're going to see your bid strategy here is target CPV, target cost per view. The following bid strategies aren't available for this campaign: maximum cost per view, target CPM, viewable CPM, target CPA, maximize conversions, conversion value, and target return on ad spend. So depending on the campaign you set up and the type of goal you set for your campaign is going to give you access to different bid strategies. If I say efficient reach, so you're trying to reach more unique users, we click on continue. Now we have a target CPM bid strategy. So we're trying to get as many impressions of our video ad as possible. So let's come back over here. So again, we're still in the video here. Let's just say we want to do the drive conversions and we click on continue. Now this is just going to open us up to bidding strategies that are all geared towards conversions, maximize conversions or target CPA in this case. So that is another way to actually set up your campaign based on what your goals are for that campaign. We want to do non-skippable in-stream, so we're going to click on continue again, and now this is going to be target CPM again. So just so how you can see some of these different campaign objectives. So it really depends on what you're actually trying to go for. If you do create a campaign without a goals guidance and you go through some of these different campaigns here, you'll see it'll give you access to different types of actual bidding strategies based on what you're trying to accomplish. So what do you want to focus on? Conversions or conversion value. So this is what you want to focus on when you are using a Performance Max campaign, because the ultimate goal is to drive conversions with these campaigns. Let's discard our campaign. And what I want to show you is if you have an existing campaign, so we have this search campaign here, my daily budget is $50 per day. I have my campaign, my conversion tracking set up for my campaign. So if you have conversion tracking set up, what you can do with customer acquisition is only bid for new customers or choose to bid equally for new and existing customers. So if your goal is to say, I only want new customers, in the case of driving leads, you generally want to focus on new customers. In the case of driving sales, it really depends on what your marketing objective is. So for bidding strategy here, you can easily change your bid strategy. So if we come over, see right now I have a target CPA of $2. If you click on change bid strategy, what we could do is click on the drop down and it gives us these different options here. So 4 different automated bid strategies: target impression share, maximize conversion value, maximize conversions, and maximize clicks. If I click on maximize conversion value, all you have to do is click here to change to a target return on ad spend bid strategy. So these are all of the different bid strategies and how you can use them. Hopefully this video has been helpful to understand the different bidding strategies and why you should use specific bidding strategies depending on your objectives and depending on the type of campaign that you're running. So generally you want to be within these smart bidding strategies. There are other options if you want to bid for clicks. There's other options if you want to bid for impressions or for views. So there are a lot of different options when it comes to Google Ads, but to keep things simple, use one of these 4 smart bidding strategies. If you're trying to focus a little bit more on limiting your overall cost per click and trying to keep within your budget controls, target CPA and target return on ad spend will give you a little bit more control over that by allowing you the ability to set max CPC bids and setting actual targets for Google Ads. Maximize conversions, maximize conversion value are basically use my targeting settings and drive me as many conversions as possible. These are great for large budget advertisers, advertisers who want to do a lot of testing. If you're using broad match keywords, you may say, use these broad match keywords, test literally everything, and drive me the best possible conversion value. And over time, what we're going to be focused on is just increasing that return on ad spend. So these are Google Ads bidding strategies. If you have any questions about any of this, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.